Well, hello. How is everyone? Hi. I am coming to you live for a fertility hot seat, and I am in my bed because I've had a rough few nights of not so great sleep. And today I decided my gift to self would be to work from bed for most of the day. My husband just brought me a yummy cup of tea, and I'm here for you. So here's how it goes down. Let me just turn on this light so the lighting's better. There we go. Here's how it goes. This is my fertility hot seat. These happen once a month. And this is where I bring one of you on at random to go live with me for a free 15-minute fertility consultation. This consultation is not medical advice. It is based on my 2 decades. It's officially 2 decades as of December. That I've been in practice helping women get and stay pregnant. I'm Amy Raup. I am a phone call that might, let's see. Hi. Let me make sure I'm still live because a phone call. Yeah, okay, good. So again, I'm going to start over. I'm Amy Raup. I am an author. I've written 4 books. Chill Out and Get Healthy was my very first book. Came out 14 years ago. And the advice I recommend in that book still stands, which I'm very proud of. I have integrity. Then I wrote Yes, You Can Get Pregnant in 2015. Still a bestseller in the space of women's health and fertility. If you haven't ever read that book, please check it out. I cannot believe it's going to be its 10-year anniversary this year. I'm thinking about some kind of revamp for the 10-year anniversary. Then I wrote Body Belief, which is all about healing autoimmune diseases. And then I wrote The Egg Quality Diet, which came out about 1.5 years ago. Or was it 2 years in June? I can't remember anymore. Anyway, that's me. And then I've been in clinical practice as an acupuncturist and herbalist, as a nutritionist. I've also been studying functional medicine. I work hand in hand with multiple different reproductive endocrinologists and their clinics. So I love integrative medicine. But I've been in clinical practice for 2 decades as an acupuncturist. At the height of my clinical practice, I was seeing upwards of 60 patients a week. Now I only go into the clinic once a month. In each clinic, I have 3 different clinics, and I have associates in all those clinics. And now my main job is this, supporting you guys all over the world. And I have online fertility courses, and I do online fertility coaching, and it's great. And I love it. And I get to do these too, these fertility hot seats. So there's a handful of you guys. So here's how it works. If I didn't already say this, request to join me live. There's that little video camera with a plus sign in the bottom of you have to be on your phone. You can't be on your computer, by the way. Request to join me live, and then I'm going to go in and I'm going to pick one of you, and then you're going to come on 15-minute consult, and everybody else gets to learn from this. I know there's so many practitioners that come on and watch these because they love to, I think, hear my recommendations and see how my brain works, which I think is great. And I appreciate that. I've gotten so many requests lately to do more mentoring with practitioners. So we're probably going to, in 2024, at some point, have a mentorship program where practitioners can join in to work with me, and then I can support them in supporting their clients. And so if you're ever interested in the mentoring piece and you are a practitioner in women's health, email my team, info@amyraup.com. If you guys want to work privately with me or my team, head over to amyraup.com/coaching. The only way to work with me right now is through my 6-month functional fertility group coaching program. You have to apply to be accepted, and we're currently accepting applications for the February cohort. The January one's already full, and it starts next week. And then last bookkeeping item is my Fertility Reboot, which is everybody's favorite 30-day program, is actually kicking off. We're going to open enrollment for that on Monday of next week, and we're going to kick off January 22nd. So keep an eye out for that. Okay, now there's so many of you who are asking to join me live. I am gonna pick, let's see, Dr. Chris, and these are at random because I believe in randomness and that there are no coincidences. Let's see if it worked. Oh, I see her coming. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you? I'm trying to figure out how this works because I've never done this. So let's see.
So yeah, this is it. If it works for you, it works for me. And we just have a chat about what's going on with you, and I'll give you some advice. But just so you know, it's not medical advice, right? Because I can't do that over an Instagram live. Not legal. But I do have a lot of experience, and so I think you could just pick my brain about what's going on, and I'll give you some feedback. How's that? And then everybody gets to learn.
Yep.
Which I think is highly beneficial for the community.
Right. Sounds good. Well, first of all, I'm in bed too. I'm currently on rotation working in Alaska, and we are snowed in this morning, so I don't go until the afternoon.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's kind of fun. How's Alaska? Is it cool?
Yeah, it's good. Like I said, we have a blizzard right now. It started last night, and so when the roads get pretty bad and lots of snow, I think there's been like 10 to 15 inches. They delay opening because of the road. They have time to clear the roads and things like that, safety issues. But anyway, a little bit about me. I started trying to conceive back in 2021. Because I come out in rotation to Alaska, and I'm at that time I think I was 37 or 38, and I had never tried never tried before, never been pregnant, and I had tried for approximately 3 months, and then I said, you know what, I just want to get a workup. I don't want to wait all this time, waste time. Let me just get a workup. Anyways, long story short, everything was normal until my HSG showed a right block. And after that HSG, maybe 14 to 16 hours later, I developed severe abdominal pain, 2, 3 in the morning. I was in the hospital, septic with peritonitis. And so that was a big bummer, hospitalized for about 5 days. Yeah. It was horrible. And then maybe 6 months later, at that time I'd reached out to fertility specialists. They said, we need to remove your blocked tube. So she went in to do that. There was tons of adhesions. She was only able to do a partial removal. And she went over to the opposite side and noticed that there was a tumor. And so then I had a tumor to deal with. And then on the right side, the same
what
side.
kind? Like a dermoid, like not a dermoid cyst, like an actual ovarian tumor. Okay. Like
yeah.
Okay.
And then on the right side, the side that they originally were going in on to remove the tube, there was a large cyst that she said the surface was very similar to the tumor, so she was pretty sure it was the same thing. So, anyways, referred to gyn-onc, and the following month, I ended up having surgery. They removed 60% of my right ovary, 40% of my left ovary, and completely removed
both tubes.
Both.
You said? Yeah. Okay.
Both.
So IVF is currently the only option.
Only option.
And then did you do any chemo or radiation or anything like that? Or are they just removed?
No, they were removed. Pathology showed they were borderline serous tumor. So I just need to follow up. And that's the goal, I think, is eventually to remove the ovaries, but they know I'm trying to conceive.
Yeah. So,
yeah. So
AIMEE'S probably took a dive after the surgery.
Oh, it took a huge dive. It was 2 before the procedure. And now my latest one was 0.2.
And what's antral follicle count typically?
4.
Okay, not bad. Yeah. Not bad, honestly.
So I did one cycle. It ended up being just a month after my procedure, which I shouldn't have done. Right. I shouldn't have done, but I wasn't told that I should have done it. They went ahead.
You're desperate. You're desperate at that point. So give yourself some slack.
And the provider didn't tell me. Hey, wait. They didn't. And they ended up giving me very high dose Medicare and Gonal F, and I didn't respond at all. Of course not.
It shut you down. I'm sure. Yeah.
So then I switched clinics to CCRM in Colorado. Well, and before I did that cycle, I actually went to RFC and did the PRP.
Okay.
And then I had my next retrieval was in Colorado, and that was around April of last year. And we retrieved 4 eggs.
Good.
three were mature. One made it to blast and biopsy, and it was abnormal.
Okay.
So that was that cycle. And then I decided I didn't want to travel so much because I already travel for work.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to go to Colorado anymore. And I found a local clinic. And I was already kind of priming the same protocol I was doing in Colorado. So they said, let's just continue that protocol for this next round. So we did. And that time I ended up having two eggs mature, and neither of them made it to blast.
Okay.
And then then I did my clinic protocol. This was the most recent one. This was in October. And they did stimulation in the luteal phase.
Okay. How much did they do?
It wasn't much. I think the Menopur was 75.
Okay.
Yep. And gonal F.
150.
I think it
maybe
150.
Yeah.
I think so. And we ended up having, I believe it was 4 follicles.
Okay. Good.
She said she thinks the right side ovulated before retrieval. So we missed out on that one.
Okay.
Then we had, we retrieved 3, and 1 was mature and didn't make it to blast.
So what day are they stopping?
Cycle is on down.
What day do they stop growing on?
Gosh. I honestly don't even remember. I feel like
would they freeze at day 3?
They probably would. So the last I talked to them, we talked about doing a fresh transfer.
Those are my 2 thoughts. Either a day, don't try to grow out to blast, and just try to bank and freeze at day 3, or do fresh transfer. Do a fresh day 3. I have a girl even doing a fresh day 4. That's what I would try. And then I would also maybe try for another retrieval, since you're only getting 1 or 2 anyway. Why not just do like letrozole and no Menopur? That's like a Murphy thing. He says no Menopur in women over 40, that it can cause them to basically ripen prematurely, or prematurely ripen. I'm a little sleep deprived still, but you know what I mean. And that can impact quality. So I wonder, this clinic maybe sounds like they could work with you if you just say, can we do super low stim? I want to try just letrozole, and maybe they'll still do some priming. I think the estrogen in the lead up, and see what you get, and then either freeze at day 3 or even day 2. I see some clinics here in New York, they do day 2 freeze if we're not getting it to grow any further, or try a fresh, because you've never even had the opportunity at this point of getting pregnant, so we just don't even know. And then the only thing I would say about the fresh is that you make sure you've had a hysteroscopy at some point before you do another retrieval.
I did
that week.
Okay. Well, I had it back in January, so a year ago.
Okay.
And I just recently had a saline ultrasound, which was everything normal.
And any endometrial biopsy to just make sure there's no endometritis. That's the one thing I would rule out is, or just do 7 to 10 days of doxycycline in the lead up to a transfer, which would treat the infection. I mean, obviously you clear this with your doctor. This is not medical advice, but that's where I would go. And then semen analysis has always come back, I'm assuming fine, because you didn't say otherwise. Okay. Yeah, that's where I would go, is try to go even lower on the meds, because you almost had, that one cycle that you had the 4, that was pretty good with them, but maybe dropping the Menopur. So you could either do that Follistim 150, no Menopur, try that, or you could also just say, I just want to try one where we're just doing oral, no injectables. Murphy too. I mean, again, this is just one clinic, but he's always in my head because I talk to him so often. But if antral follicle count is less than 3, he does not use injectables. He will only use letrozole or Clomid, or Femara. And if antral follicle count's above 3, then he'll do Follistim 150. But sometimes too, he'll just do that for 1 or 2 days. You know what I mean? And then couple it with letrozole or Clomid. Because the eggs are in there, and so I think it's more let's get them, let's fertilize them and get them back in you as quickly as possible. Try not to grow them out, because I think too there's question around the testing these days anyway. I mean, I know CCRM still has their hard rules, but there's just, I have so many girls in their 40s that do day threes and they become healthy children, you know. And then we also see so many women, you know, you're unfortunately not going to be in this camp, that have unsuccessful IVFs and then go on to get pregnant naturally in their mid to late 40s and have healthy children. So we know, you know what I mean? There's still so much that's going on. And then as far as like diet and supplements, what are you currently doing? Oh, look at that. Well, thanks.
Well,
You could join our
I'm trying to do it. I haven't read it all, but I'm trying to get there.
Okay.
And I am practicing some of it. I'm doing, you know, eggs every morning, half an avocado. I'm doing half of a potato every day.
Good.
Trying to do almond butter.
Yeah, and I think that's it too. Like for you and everybody listening, of like the removals sometimes are really hard. So like and you sound like you have a busy life and all those things, and I think most people do. Focus on the additions, right? Shoot to get the 80 to 100 grams of protein, shoot to get in the good quality fats, watch the processed crap, you know, try to, and then, you know, try to be as non-toxic if you can, like avoid the plastics, avoid the pesticides and you know, the bath and beauty products and things of that nature, but maybe just think about adding and getting in all your veggies, of course.
Right.
And then what about supplements? What are you taking?
Oh gosh, I'm taking a lot.
Okay.
They're all vitamins. And then I have a fish oil, a multivitamin, choline,
Okay.
and L-arginine.
Okay.
And I am taking thyroid. I was not hypothyroid, but it's 2.5, so I'm
good, smart.
And then vitamin C, zinc. I think that's the gist of it.
Yeah.
Oh, acai supplement, a little acai.
Yeah, that, I mean, Schoolcraft and his acai, you know, you can't be a patient without it. That story. I would think about like some kind of serapeptase supplement. So I use Wobenzyme, which technically isn't, they're proteolytic enzymes, but something to break up stagnation, just because of the history of the tumors. Just in my head, like from a Chinese medicine perspective, if you have a propensity towards those tumors, and there's there other like congestion, if you will. So I think Wobenzyme is the one I typically recommend. It seems out of stock these days. So the Enzymedica is the brand, Digest Gold. It's like 2 supplements per day on an empty stomach. I would do that, and then, you know, do your castor oil packs if you can get in for some acupuncture, like the, you know, some kind of abdominal massage or something, anything for blood flow, because we know blood flow, you know, will improve your response, I think, but also could really impact the quality. And just thinking about the surgeries and the assaults, if you will, even though it's been a while, but the assault on the ovaries, and just healing them, recovering them.
Right. Yeah. And I am doing that. I started to do the castor oil packs. I am doing acupuncture as well. So
okay,
all things.
Yeah, I mean, do all the things, and I just think, like, you know, right? If you were in a different position and you hadn't lost your tubes, you'd be trying naturally on the off months if you could, or you maybe would even went to IUI first, right? So like almost like think from that mentality of like a less is more. And just because the reserve is like, first of all, your reserve is also, what's the word I want to use? Like, it's a false low. It's not truly low. It's lower because of the tumors and the surgery. So, you know, like play with that story a bit too, of just like, my ovaries are a little compromised because I had this surgery, and thank God they found these tumors, you know, like all these things. And but you know, there's no reason to believe that all your eggs are bad. I just don't believe that. I don't, and I think especially at 41, I just think that's impossible. So I think you can even if you look at some of the research is like, yeah, maybe 40% of your eggs are bad, maybe 50%, even if we are on the side of like super caution. But 50% are still good. So if you get a couple, you know, I think we have a 50-50 chance. We just got to get it in there. We got to get it to implant.
Right. And I do remember also, I was, you know, I had an ultrasound between cycles, and it was like I was not stimming that cycle, and I had 2.
Yeah.
So I'm getting the same when I'm not.
Yeah, I would go lower dose then. That's the answer there. Like less can be more, and especially too of like, kind of your history with like the, you know, adhesions and things of that nature, of like your detox pathways may be compromised, and the stims are just so hard on the body, and I feel like they can cause, you know, more inflammation than necessary, which in my brain equals to poorer egg quality. I don't think there's hard data on that, and then people would, you know, I'm sure punch holes in that theory. But I don't know. It's also like just keep trying things differently. That's how I would do it.
Okay. And what was that supplement that you
Oh,
recommended?
and it's Enzymatica, E ENZYMEDICA, and then it's called Digest Gold, and it's 2 a day on an empty stomach. And it's like it's a serrapeptase. So they're proteolytic enzymes. They're not like digestive enzymes. They help break up masses and tumors, but like I'll use them if I suspect endometriosis or like a history of yours. Like if someone says, "Oh, I had fibroids, they were removed," or "I have adeno," that kind of stuff, where I would just, you know, and then I would get the endometrial biopsy, or at the minimum do the antibiotics. You know, if you just want to keep retrieving, I get that, then don't stop the process. See if your doctor will just prescribe, you know, prophylactically, if you will, for treating endometritis, just to make sure that uterus is ready for implantation.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, sending you so much love. Keep us posted. Okay. You can DM and let me know how things are going. All right.
You're welcome. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Have a great one.